Real Madrid have dropped points yet again in La Liga, this time to Atletico Madrid in the Madrid derby. It was a 1-1 draw. G, what was your initial reaction to this match as a Real Madrid fan?
Well, I think the boys just came out a bit lackluster. I think a lot of it has to do with coming off a short week, just coming from Liverpool, having to do what we did over there. And, the boys just didn't come out with the same energy, that same, vibrance that they always do. And I think it just it's a bit unlucky just because you would like a little bit of an easier match coming off, a short week like that. But still not to take away from what Atletico did. I think Atletico played very well. I mean, realistically, Atletico really have nothing else to play for. So I think this is kind of like their banner that they're going to hang up. This is their league title. This is their Champions League. They were able to draw with us. I mean, congratulations, Atletico Madrid. But I think this almost goes into the bigger picture of like Barcelona fans are going to be wanting my head after the comments I made in the last episode. But look, listen here. The only reason I look at this as almost, a sign of respect, because as Real Madrid, we're expected to literally win every single thing that our name is attached to. That's how it is. That's how it'll always be. And you know how that is gained? From years and years of dominance. Unlike Barca fans. And I don't want to make this a whole of, fighting back at the Barca fans, but, there's levels to the game here. Listen, I can be as delusional as I want, but Real Madrid are not going to win every single game they ever play ever. That's not going to happen. And I don't know if they're really prioritizing La Liga again anymore. I don't really know. Maybe it's a mixture of the two. It was tough coming off that short week and playing Atletico again, a team that maybe the players are already looking down at Atletico. I mean, we've owned Atletico since their existence. They're just like the kids stuck in the basement to us. But, they were able to sneak a point by. And we're still missing down some players. I mean, it's a bit of a questioning of why Ancelotti had the 11. I wouldn't have played Ceballos in the starting one. I would have put in not Tchouaméni, but Camavinga. So there's a bit of small changes here and there. And obviously, we're still down David Alaba. We're still down on Ferland Mendy and a fully fit Tchouaméni. So if you guys are going to point out your injuries, I'm still going to point out ours. That has not changed. Madrid is still martyred with important injuries, but I'm not going to overreact to this. I think people that are overreacting to that, I just see it as a sign of respect because how great we are. I mean, how we're expected to win everything. There's not a team that has a bigger spotlight than Real Madrid because, I think people are going to want to come on here and say, Madrid are frauds in the league, but that's just not true. I can't even say that just because we have more league titles than anybody ever in La Liga. We have 35. And obviously, we're the most dominant team in Europe. So, look, Barca fans can celebrate this all they want. They can celebrate we drew, but, I'll just dry my tears here with, oh, I'm sorry. I'll just dry my tears here. I'm so sorry. While you guys are at home watching us in Europe, we're actually going to be playing. So, that's all really I have to say. I've said this entire season, I've given Barca the credit that they're a great league team. And I even had Barca fans themselves agree with me, say they're a great league team, but in Europe, they're not that. They're not that team in Europe. And that's even coming from Barca fans agreeing with me. So, it is what it is. We're going to drop points. That's just the sign. And people are going to overreact, but that's just a sign of our greatness.
Look, the fact of the matter is, La Liga is officially over. It is finished, done, finito. It is all over. Barcelona have won La Liga. Congratulations, Barcelona. You will go 10 points clear tomorrow when you beat Almeria, 19th place Almeria, and it is over. And G, you came on here last video and you told me Xavi was a fraud. You told me this. That video got 100,000 plus views on TikTok. I posed this question to you. If Xavi and Barcelona are frauds because they failed in Europa League, what does that make Madrid for losing the league to them?
Well, I already explained that to you. Even I touched upon it a little there before. It's impossible to call Real Madrid frauds in the league when we've won more league titles than Barca. We have, what is it, a 9-league gap between them. And to be fair, they might win it this year. Good on you, Barca. that's all they really have to play for anymore. Unlike Madrid that are still in the Champions League, and we're still Copa del Rey. Like I said, we will see them in Copa del Rey, but we have more things that we always prioritize. For history, we've always prioritized Champions League, and I'm not saying, oh yeah, we're guaranteed we're going to win the Champions League, but we are consistently one of the best teams in the Champions League. That's something Barcelona can never say because there are so many gaps between where they're just bang shit and they can't make it out of the group. That's not me making up shit. That's fact. And look, there's people that agreed with my point that Xavi is a fraud when it comes to big matches. That doesn't change. Look, they're playing Almeria. I've never seen that team or heard of that team in my entire life. I would have liked to play them after coming off, a great, brilliant dismantling of Liverpool at away in England. Something Barcelona did the opposite of. They were the ones that got demolished there. But that's besides the point. Look, I have nothing really more to say. I'm not going to say Real Madrid are frauds. I mean, what does that make Madrid? That just makes Madrid a normal team. I mean, oh my God, they're human. We can drop points and we're not going to be perfect. But all this pressure, all these people that come up as soon as we drop points. I mean, we draw. So many people come up and say, "Oh, what about Madrid?" Like I said, I think it's a sign of respect and it's just acknowledging greatness.
Look, I'm not going to deny that, but I wanted to pose the question because, I mean, Barca are going to win the league. It is all but confirmed now. When they go 10 points clear tomorrow, it is going to be all but confirmed at that point. It's over.
We were having similar conversations about Arsenal. I mean, I thought it was impossible that Arsenal could possibly make it a race. But look, there's one team in sports you don't bet against. And right now, that team is Real Madrid, the team of dreams that we've seen them do the impossible. And I'm not going to fully say Madrid are going to take the league, but I think we'll make it competitive because I think soon as Real Madrid, because things are going to start matching up soon because as I predict, I think Real Madrid are going to absolutely shatter Barca in the Copa del Rey. And then we're going to play them in La Liga. And then we're going to do the same thing we've done to them in La Liga earlier this year. The exact same thing. Absolutely dismantle them. And I think that's gonna lead on to, a couple of doubts in their heads. I think the demons are going to start sneaking in there. Look, I think Barcelona are going to drop points. Inevitably, the elephant has to fall from the tree. They're going to drop points. And I'm not
I don't know if they're going to drop 10 points, though. 10 points is a lot to drop, considering how good they've been in the league.
I've seen crazier things happen. It's football. But I'm not going to go out and say, yeah, it's fully going to happen. I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, well, Barca are going to drop all the points and Madrid are going to win the league. I think Madrid are going to make it more competitive than what it seems now. But I think it just comes down to the players are kind of just they're more concentrated on the Champions League. Because, being the champions of Spain is pretty fun. But being champions of Europe is a whole lot better.
Look, I think that considering everything, this was an overall pretty poor performance from Real Madrid today. But I think it is difficult to come off of the Liverpool game at Anfield when you win 5-2 in that incredible comeback. It's difficult to come back from that and then go and play your rivals.
Come down Madrid, from that high. Yeah.
It's very difficult to come back from that high, like you said. So I give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt there. But overall, it was a poor performance. I mean, Benzema didn't play that well. Vinicius was pretty poor today, I would say, as well. I think Real Madrid have officially put all of their eggs in the Champions League basket. And for this to be a successful season for Real Madrid, they now have to win the Champions League. They have to win it. If they fail to win the Champions League, this season is a failure for Real Madrid. And I know that's crazy to say because sure they've won some other trophies. They won the Club World Cup, but the standards for Real Madrid are so high that they have to win the Champions League for this to be a success. Because even if they win the Copa del Rey, that's not good enough. They have to win the Champions League. That's what has to happen. And I saw a tweet that they are officially the betting favorites to win the Champions League as of today. So they are the favorites at the moment. There's no underdog card that can be played. Real Madrid are the favorites to win the Champions League at this very moment. They are the favorites. Yes. So I think that they have to win that. They've put all their eggs in that basket. At this point, I think that Ancelotti should be looking at just resting players in the league because the league is over. You should be resting players for the Champions League, making sure players are getting fit. I wouldn't risk any players. I wouldn't risk anyone coming back from injury in the league. I think you just focus on the Champions League at this point. I think that's what they have to do. And I think it leads me to my next point. They need to rotate. And Ancelotti, they need to use the Castilla players more. Alvaro Rodriguez, Sergio Arribas, Vinicius Tobias, these guys have to get more minutes for Real Madrid. Alvaro Rodriguez proved himself today why he needs more minutes. He is too good to be in the Castilla 24/7. He needs to be playing more for Real Madrid, the main squad. He proved himself today, and I think that all of these guys in the Castilla deserve more minutes, especially in the league, considering they're not going to win the league. Barca are going to win the league. So give these guys some more minutes in La Liga and let them prove themselves and get better. I think that's what needs to happen. These guys need more minutes. These guys are too good at the moment.
And I would agree with a lot of the points you made there. But realistically, I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. I mean, it sucks to see, we could rest all our players all the time. But, I mean, realistically, when it comes down to match games at big nights, I mean, injuries happen. I mean, we saw David Alaba go down in the Liverpool match. And we could have rested him all through La Liga, but that injury could still have happened inevitably. So, I mean, I would like to see a bit of rotation. We're not a super deep squad. I mean, this is the squad that we're talking about. We almost barely had 14 players on the active squad list. I mean, we
And
are
that's why
not
I
the
think
deep,
you use the
very deep
Castilla
squad.
players more. You got to get Arribas in, get Rodriguez in more because
I've been wanting to see Vinicius Tobias for about a month now. Ever since they mentioned this guy of the reason why we didn't get Joao Cancelo, I'm like, fuck, I want to see this kid play now. I mean, y'all are hyping him up so much, but yet to see that. And I think they should kind of rotate them more. I mean, they're trying to do that a little bit with Ceballos and give Camavinga and Tchouaméni a bit of a rest and not starting Luka Modric every game because he can't really do that anymore. Toni Kroos can't do that anymore. And I mean, I'm still not going to say La Liga is over, not done, but I just don't think they're going to really have that many rotations. Because I mean, if Courtois or if not Alaba, but Rudiger, Militao, Carvajal, if these guys are fit, they're going to play every game because our backline's kind of underwavered. It never changes. And I just don't really see that happening. I think it's a good idea, but I don't see it happening.
Ancelotti has always been, at least for during his tenure at Real Madrid this time, he's been a little bit stubborn using the Castilla players. And a reporter questioned him about it, and Ancelotti snapped back saying that he's consistently throughout his managerial career given players opportunities. He said, I was the first manager to use Buffon. That's what he said. He said, I was the guy who made Buffon, the guy he is today, basically.
He created
so
Buffon.
I don't know about that. But I think Ancelotti does need to do a little bit of rotation. And now that you see the quality of these Castilla players like Rodriguez, like Arribas, who scored in the Club World Cup, these guys need to get some minutes. I think it's crazy if they don't get minutes, especially considering the lack of depth in this squad at the moment. But, I mean...
Yeah.
I
think eventually he will probably lean into that a bit more. I mean, especially after today. I mean, to get conceded on by a team that's already down to 10 men, that's pretty, normal clubs that happens to. I mean, it kind of sucks the life out of you that it's done, but Ancelotti is able to make the correct changes. He's able to game manage with the best of them. He's possibly the best manager in the world at changing games with substitutions. I mean, that's what his entire this recent Real Madrid tenure has been. His substitutions change games, and I'm going to give him his credit for that because after Madrid got conceded on, I just thought, I don't know if we can really get back from that, but obviously this is one of the greatest comeback teams of all time, so they always find a way to get something.
Yeah, but and you mentioned the fact that Atletico were down to 10 men, and obviously the reason they were down to 10 men is as a result of a questionable refereeing decision, the Angel Correa red card. He elbows into Rudiger. I'm going to go first on this. I want to give my take on this. I think it is a soft red card, in my opinion. Overall, I'm not saying that an elbow into the abdomen can't be a red card, but I think given the stature of Rudiger versus Correa, I just think an elbow from Correa into Rudiger, there's no way that it was enough force to make Rudiger fall down like that. I'm not saying it didn't hurt, but I'm just saying it was a little bit of a soft call. Rudiger sold it. Look, Rudiger, you got your Oscar for that because I think it was a little bit of a dive. I just think it was a soft red card. I think it was a soft red card. Obviously, everyone does it. Everyone has their theatrics, but I think it was soft. But that's just my take on the red card. I'm sure you have a differing opinion on it.
I think I can agree that it might have been a soft call, but I just think for the pure fact that Correa looked back, he saw him there, and he still cocked. You can see the cock back, and then he goes with it. And look, these guys, they're always going to have theatrics for anything. I mean, that's if he stepped on someone's foot. I mean, we see people that you step on their foot, they're falling and they're rolling. That's just how the game is. But that was not a football play. I mean, that is completely, you're swinging your elbow back and doing a non-football move. So yeah, you're going to get sent off for that. I think that's just in the rule of the game. That's how it is. Is it soft? Maybe. But we always have these conversations with, is that a red? Should they have given a red? Or is that a foul? But by the letter of the law, that is a foul. And he saw him. Correa saw he was there and yet still cocked back and hit Rudiger. So I think, the only person you have to blame is Correa. I mean, you don't have to do that. I mean, for what reason? That you're not
I think it
gaining
was
anything
dumb.
from doing
I
that.
think Correa was a little bit stupid to even do that. But I'm just saying, I think Rudiger did sell it a little bit. He won his Oscar
Yeah,
award
they.
tonight.
I mean, shit. Thinking about people selling it, you remember the Sergio Ramos on Cuadrado in the
I
2017.
remember that. I remember
I
that.
mean, I mean, you're gonna sell it. You gotta sell
Of
it. I mean,
course.
if you're
I'm
gonna
not
go down,
blaming
sell
Rudiger
that
for
shit.
selling it. And when Rudiger played for Chelsea, he was doing similar things, and I was applauding him. I was happy. But I think it's one of those
Yeah.
things that if you're on the
It's a part of the game
it
now.
is
There's literally
it's a
no
part of
way
the
to
game.
take it out. Yeah, it's
But
just
that was
how the
not the
game
only
is.
questionable refereeing decision. I mean, there was Morata's no call penalty that he was dragged down. I mean, I saw it. I thought it was a penalty at first glance. When I saw the replay, it was also a little bit soft. It would have been a bit harsh to be given. But after what I saw with the Correa, I don't know. Maybe they were given a lot of soft fouls today. I think given the magnitude of this match, it's a Madrid derby. You got to let these guys play a little bit. I mean, these guys are always going to be a little bit tense against each other. These guys, I mean,
Yeah, it's a Madrid derby. Yeah,
but especially Atletico Madrid. I mean, they always play physical. They're always going to
yeah,
be right up
one of the
on
most
you.
physical teams in
I mean,
recent memory.
that's what you expect from a Diego Simeone-led team. But I do think the most clear-cut decision that wasn't called was the Valverde handball in the 5th minute. I do not know how that is not called as a hand because it bounces up, hits him in the hand. The hand is away from his body. This is why you have VAR to make these calls. And I just think that should have been called a penalty. I mean, look, the red card, I think it was soft. And the Morata no call, I think that also would have been soft. It was given. But this handball from Valverde, that was clear as day. I mean, it hit the hand. I think that should have been called.
Look, we see this problem with VAR all around really Europe. I mean, we've talked so many times about how, we've seen this mostly in the Premier League and how egregious, clear as day handballs get called. But I mean, it's a handball. I mean, by the word of the law, it is, and it didn't get called. But I can't really do anything about changing that. I mean, do I just go to Madrid myself and say, give them all the points? I can't. There's nothing I can really do. And no, this is not Vardrid. This is not us buying the leagues, but this happens all over Europe. This happens all the time.
Vardrid are back.
Vardrid are back.
That's what Diego Simeone was saying.
Look, Diego Simeone has a big mouth. He's always going to say something. But look, this happens all over the league. Madrid is not the only team ever that's benefited from something not being called. I mean, are we? Am I missing something here? It happens all the time. Unfortunately, obviously, as a guy who likes the game, I watch the game. You call it. I mean, it's a handball. You call it, but they didn't call it. There's nothing I can do to change that. So I mean, we play on. The players play on. They're not going to stop playing. Say, you know what? Out of respect for the game, that was a handball. Call it. That's not happening. What the fuck do you think this is? So I mean, look, it was a call that didn't get called, and that was the end of it. I mean, that was it.
I mean, yeah. The only thing is I mean, obviously, Diego Simeone, he was making a big deal of it in the post-match presser. Jan Oblak was making a big deal. He said that whenever Atletico play in the Bernabeu, they automatically start down a man. He said that's what it automatically is.
Start down on that.
So look, I think that it's what also. I mean, it's what makes the Madrid derby one of the best derbies. I think is because there's always tenacity, there's always tension, there's always refereeing mistakes, there's always post-match press conferences that are wild. I mean, I think that's why I love to watch these two clubs play. There's a real hatred between these two clubs. And I think you could see that.
Especially, I mean, for Atletico. I mean, imagine getting to the only 2 Champions League finals that you'll probably ever get in your entire life, and you lose it to the same fucking team. I mean, that can only be so like horrid. And I mean,
were literally minutes away from winning that one.
Minutes
Sergio
away
Ramos
from
with
doing
the header.
It. And there's always going to be chirping after the match. I remember during the Super Cup, I think in 2020. When Valverde got sent off for fouling Alvaro Morata clear on goal. And after the post-match, he said, he was going to miss anyway. So it was like,
I wouldn't have doubted that.
Have to clear.
But that was a smart play at the time. That was a smart play.
It was a genius play. I mean, that's like one of the most high IQ plays that you'll see in football. But I mean, that's just how these teams are. There's that real hatred for each other, and that's just how it's always going to be. And it's always going to be fun to watch, even though Atletico Madrid are not in the best position of all time right now. I mean, they're arguably starting to fall off and fall into irrelevancy. I mean,
well, I think they're entering a rebuild. I mean, not to make this a whole thing, but Diego Simeone is expected to leave at the end of the season. I think they're going to sell Joao Felix to Chelsea and recoup a lot of that money, and then they're going to reinvest in the squad with the new manager and try to rebuild the club back to kind of what it was in 2013, 2014, 2015 when they were competing for the Champions League and ultimately fall short, to Real Madrid.
Yeah, because I mean, Atletico is not the most financially backed club in Europe. I mean, they have to do these things where I have to get almost a full rehaul because I mean they're gonna have a new manager. The manager's gonna want to have a different system because no one else
No
in
one
football
plays. Yeah.
plays like Diego Simeone. I
No,
mean,
he's
these are all
truly one of
Simeone
one.
players. Yeah, he's one of one. I mean, for the good and the bad.
Yeah, no, and I mean sometimes it's not always the prettiest football, but it definitely
Yeah,
does get
God
results. To be
no.
fair, I hope I saw a couple people saying that Simeone should be the new Chelsea manager if Potter gets
Oh
sacked. So I
God,
don't know
I don't
about
think he
that.
wants that.
That's a conversation for another day. But I think my final point, like I said, Barcelona, congratulations on winning La Liga because I think it's over.
Barcelona, see you in Copa del Rey.
I guess, like I said, I can't wait to film that video. Look,
We'll
either
see
way, I
him
think it's going to
soon.
be a good video. So we will see that video coming out very soon whenever the Copa del Rey does play. I don't know, what is it, a couple weeks away?
Yeah, a couple weeks away.
We will obviously have a video on the channel for that. But subscribe down below and let us know in the comments down below what y'all thought of this match. What did you think about the refereeing calls? Do you think that the Castilla players deserve more playing time for Real Madrid? Let us all know in the comments down below. And hit the subscribe button for more football content coming out very soon as these matches come out. But I think unless you have any final points, we can wrap this one up.
I think that wraps it up for me.
So we'll see y'all next time for another video. I'm Zach.
I'm G.
We'll see y'all next time for another video. Peace.